Before we get into this video, I have a special announcement. I've started a gaming channel. There'll be a link to it in the description of this video, so make sure to check it out. Anyway. Australia is the #1 country in the world when it comes to gambling. And when I say that, I don't mean we're the best winners, we lose the most. In the 2022 to 2023 financial year, Australians lost $32 billion from gambling. And that's despite the fact that Australia's population is 0.33% of the entire world population. I mean, just have a look at this graph. Now, there are many ways to turn your hard-earned money into thin air, but there's one method that seems to be the king of the bunch. And that, of course, is the topic of today's video, the Pokies. Also known as the Bricky's laptop, the plumber's PlayStation, the pensioner's piano, or the chippy's calculator. In the 2022 to 2023 financial year, Aussies lost almost $16 billion on pokie machines alone, which is almost 3 times as much as people lost on online bookies and almost half of our entire losses in total. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be going through some of the things you'll see at the pokies, the people that play them, the weird techniques that these people employ, and then at the end I'll be bringing my weekly Centrelink payment down to my local pokies and seeing if we can turn it into $1 million or if I'll turn my cold hard cash into thin f***ing air. But before we get into that, we're so close to 46 billion subscribers. Make sure to click that subscribe button and I'll be your best friend. Anyway, that's enough waffle for now. Let's get into it. But first, before we get into it, I have to say something. As much as this video is a piss take and is entirely for comedic purposes, there's nothing funny about a gambling addiction. I don't endorse gambling at all, and none of these gambling companies are set up to help you out. They're just there to take your money and bleed you dry. If you or someone you know is struggling with gambling, here's the gambling helpline, and to quote those shitty sports bet ads that we get constantly berated with on TV, imagine all the AU Falcons you could be buying instead. Anyway, that's enough of me being serious, let's get back into the tomfoolery. First, we'll start off with the people that you'll find at the pokies. Now, I've already mentioned this in my pub video from a few months ago, but the people that you'll see at the pokies most often are usually the elderly and tradesmen. These two groups of people are either cashed up or have absolutely nothing at all, and there's no in between. The pensioners are usually gambling away their children's inheritance and losing houses, and the tradies are either cashed up or trying to double their $400 a week apprentice wage for 60 hours of work, turning it into thin air in the process. And look, while these two may be the most common that you'll see at the pokies doesn't discriminate. They'll take anyone's money. One day a few years ago, me and some friends went to the pokies for a bit of a laugh. We'd just turned 18 and my mate had a $10 note, so we did the most logical thing and tried to turn it into a house deposit. We got into a conversation with the elderly gentleman that was sitting at the pokie machine next to us, and he told us that he'd lost $2,000 that day, $2,000 the day before, and $2,000 the day before that. He told us that he'd lost houses and countless hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when we asked him the most logical question we could think of, have you ever thought about quitting? His answer was simply, I'm gonna die one day and this money's not coming to the grave with me. And that had me thinking, this man has all this money and instead of spending it at the gentleman's club or going apeshit on Facebook Marketplace and buying a whole car yard worth of AU Falcons, he's coming into the pokies every day, putting in a shift and doing it for the love of the game. And of course, there's a scientific word for this. Dedication. Now, most people that play the pokies aren't really that dedicated. They come in with $10 or so, turn it into thin air, and that's it for the day. But some people are so dedicated that they'll sit there for 48 hours straight, reinvesting any money that they win until they either fall asleep or get booted out. But by far the weirdest habit that these dedicated players have is shitting themselves or pissing themselves while sitting at the chair. Now, you may think I'm just pulling this out of my ass, but I promise you I'm not. A lot of people who work at the pokies and a few whistleblowers have came out and said that this is very much true, and a lot of these venues keep spare chairs around so they can do a quick switch out if someone lets one fly. But of course, the players have found a way around this, and that is to wear adult diapers. If you wear an adult diaper, you don't have to get up off your chair and waste valuable playing time, and you won't be committing a biological hate crime when you accidentally let one fly. Now, this problem is usually accompanied with the fact that liquid luck is abundantly available at these pokie facilities. I mean, it's simple maths that two addictions combined together cancel each other out. Anyway, that's enough about that. Another thing that you'll notice if you frequent these Pokie venues is a lot of these dedicated players have their own special techniques. Simply just sitting on the chair and smashing the button doesn't actually work. You'll need to mix in a few of these techniques if you actually want to win big. Now of course there's many different ones you can choose from, but my favourite has to be the cat scratcher. Even though most Pokie machines do have a digital screen and you can't actually touch the wheel that spins, it doesn't stop a lot of these Pokie players from scratching at the screen like a dog locked inside on a sunny day. Anyway, one of the most entertaining parts about the Pokies has to be the crash outs. This usually happens after someone sinks thousands of dollars into the Brickie's laptop and in return they receive sweet all. Now here are some clips that I found. Watch and enjoy.
Yeah, some days I feel unfazed, like when I'm with my friends with a cup raised. Come Monday, I got a gun raised. Suicidal do a die until hump day. Then I go right back at it like an automatic. More drinks, more songs, more beats to rap. I need a shrink, I'm gone. More time keeps passing. No watch, no thoughts at all. Just a hat, new era. Rep my P's and those O's. Need the Phillies with the orange and black to feel home. From Citizens Bank back to Camden Yards. It's a tale of two cities and trust we go hard. Trust we go hard, yes we go hard. You said we go hard, I said we go hard. Rockin' my Bob Cousy, stocking up on the loose. Think the lyrics come easy, but the life is a doozy. And yes, I'm choosy, and no, I won't settle, but I still take pop off over that kettle. Cause I'm talking bigger picture, and yes, I'm gonna hit you with the
Anyway, I'm sure you get the point. Now at this point in the video, there's not really much else we can do except go to the Pokies ourselves and see just how much money we can win. But unfortunately, you're not really allowed to film in there. Due to the fact that I have a few billion subscribers and everybody knows who I am, for legal reasons I had to sit this one out and send in my twin brother Mike. Now none of you guys would know who Mike is. He's worked for a few elite government agencies in his time, those being the UNSC and of course the Black Ops. So when it comes to getting in and out of a place undetected, Mike's the guy that we call. Anyway, that's enough waffle, it's time to send Mike into the field. What it do, Kerr? We're here at the local Pokies venue. This is a very covert operation. If you get caught filming at one of these places, they kick you straight out and they can ban you for life. As you can see, got a couple dead presidents here. I'm gonna absolutely clean this place out. I'm gonna turn this into $1 billion. This place is gonna be shut down by next week. They will not be able to repay me. So going straight here, straight to the real estate agent, gonna buy a mansion on the beach. I'm the #1 Pokie player. I've got a few wild cards equipped today. I've got fast hands, so I'm quick on the slaps. I've got fucking cold-blooded, so UAVs and shit don't pick me up, so I can stay under the radar. I'll be taking the dog for a walk, so when the option to gamble comes up, I'll be going red, black, red, black, red, black, taking the dog for a walk. It's the new technique. A lot of been doing it. Got my boy Stuart behind the camera. He can't be on camera, he's got a few warrants out. But yeah, anyway, without further ado, it's time to get into there and clean this place out. And with that all said, Mike and Stuart started pounding the pavement on the way into the Pokie venue with a week's worth of my Centrelink money in hand. They even managed to spot a sign of good luck and fortune next to this unregistered Corolla in the car park on the way in. But unfortunately, they didn't think this one through and had to abandon the mission because the place was fucking chockers and the big camera we normally use for these videos wasn't exactly discreet. Alright, change of plans. We couldn't film at the other location. Our camera was too big, it was too packed, there was too many staff members around. They didn't want to get booted out and banned. So now we're here with Nathan in his AU. Nathan owes me a lot of money, so we're going to be gambling and all these winnings are going to me. Show us your stash, boy. We've still got these two dead presidents to fucking splurge with, but we're going on the iPhone now, much more discreet. I don't know if I'll be able to film me playing the like third person, but I'll get some creep shots.
Do you have the PRV cam?
No, I don't have that with me today. You can't really fly the PRV unit inside the Pokies.
Why not?
It's a bit loud. Anyway, the last place we went to is Lucky. We didn't bankrupt them like we were supposed to, but this place will be shut down next week when they get their invoice from me. So without further ado, let's get to it. What do you have to say, Nathan?
Let's get this money, baby.
And take 2 of this operation was off to a flying start. The machine wouldn't take my $100 notes, so we had to swap them out for 450s, coming dangerously close to blowing our cover. But then shortly after, we were straight into it. As you can see here, Mike is using all the correct techniques, getting the machine warmed up and massaging the screen. And after taking the dog for a walk, walking the dog, walking the dog, and losing all the money that we just fucking won, we cashed out and went in search of the Dragon Link. The Dragon Link is the Rolls Royce of the Pokie machines. Not because it's better than any of the other ones, but it'll take all of your fucking money, that's for sure. And as you can see here, that's exactly what it did. Until we won $52 and instantly turned that into thin air in a failed attempt at walking the dog. And look, I'm not going to bore you by making you sit here and watch Mike play the Pokies, but in the end, not so surprisingly, Mike turned that $200 into thin air. Now, we could have just taken all the money out and pretended that we lost it all, but we actually did. I just didn't film all of it. So with $200 down the drain and absolutely nothing to show for it, it's time to wrap up this video. In conclusion, just like heroin or meth, it's fine to indulge in the Pokies here and there, but if you're going every day and spending all of your money on it, that's not really too good. And on reflection of my $200 loss, I came to the realization that if I just simply got those 4 $50 notes and threw them in a fire, at least I get some entertainment and heat out of it. And that would be 2 more things than I got out of the Pokies. With $200 down the gurgler and Mike nowhere to be found, make sure to press that subscribe button, and if anyone's got some cash work, let me know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment and share, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.